well below zero with the wind chill, so it's just November struggle here for trying to get a mule deer. To bow hunt this country, it's like we've got snow and cold. They can hear you coming. Like, you're not gonna get a 20-30 yard shot on a mule deer. The cold takes a different kind of toughness. Alright, well, we're cruising down the road. Got a late season mule deer hunt, so see some snow out there and some cold. It was bitter this morning, like below zero when I left. Hit some icy roads, and now we're pretty much dry roads, which is good. But we got about an 8-hour drive. We're hunting rutting muleys, so we're just cruising off miles trying to get there and see if we can't spot a buck. But we're pumped. It should be good action out there, and I know we got a week, so we got a lot of time. And so this is a rut hunt, which we're so fortunate to be able to hunt the rut. So the rut brings the big bucks out. It's when they're most susceptible to be able to get them. So like how it helps is these bucks start running solo. They'll cover country all day long. They'll group up with the does, and so you can go into easier country and find these groups of does, and these bucks will be hanging with them, or a lot of times they'll breed a doe and then move on to another group. But it just makes these bucks more visible during daylight hours. They come out of their hidey holes and come to easier country to be able to glass and to be able to access, and so the rut gives us a huge advantage. It really turns the tides from hunting bucks in October to hunting bucks in November, so we're stoked. The rut's gonna be fun. So just making our way out to mule deer country, and you never know what type of roads you're gonna run into. Like it's November, it's cold, like it's 18 degrees out right now. We just hit the iciest road, so we've been doing 40 miles an hour just trying to keep it under control, but can quickly turn an 8-hour drive into an 11-hour drive. So we're having to watch our P's and Q's and keep her between the lines, or the lines we can see anyways. But hopefully it'll start to melt off, or we'll get more of a graded road. The last hour has just been slick ice everywhere, but we're making it, keeping it safe. Right, so day one, we caught some sleep last night. We just laid out. It got cold, like, I don't know, maybe 12 degrees, maybe a little bit lower. I don't know, I didn't take a temp in the middle of the night, but yeah, slept warm enough. So we're just up this morning and rolling here before light. Go grab some vantage points, hopefully find some deer. So feels good to be out here and get started. Chilly to start with, and then it warms up a bit. I mean, I don't think the highs are supposed to get above 40, 50 this week, but at least warm up a bit where it's not so brutally cold. But this is November mule deer hunting, so here we go. This is a good morning where they'll be moving quite a bit, God, they just blend in perfectly. 2, 3, 11 of them there. Wow. That's a pretty nice buck. Alright, well, just cruising country here this morning. We just got to find a good population of deer. We've seen a few does. We're finding like the right habitat that they're liking, and yeah, just trying to turn up some good spots, and then we can start diving in and start really hunting these things. So seen a few does here. We're starting to find the country. They kind of like this foothill rolling canyon country. So yeah, we're just gonna put on some miles, get a feel for things, and then hopefully dive in. We'll stretch the legs today somewhere, and hopefully find a buck here. North up through here, up through this gate, there's like, I really like all this country, and then through here, which is where we were trying to get off this road. It's kind of some of this, it'll drive us out to this point out there, and then we'd have a vantage point over all this. twisted around, I thought we were going to be looking over a lot of those draws that go off this side, but we're not there yet, the way it loops around. But still, it's like an easy walk up to these spots and then deer bedded right over the other side, which could easily be a buck. So we'll just cruise up a little bit. Well, some deer around. Whitetails aren't really hanging where I'd expect them, but our tag is good for a whitetail or a mule deer, so just gonna keep hunting. Just gonna keep traveling, and then we'll make these hikes up into these lookouts, places where we can glass, so seeing a few deer. Well, we made it back. Did a good hike out and through there. Did find some deer. There was a buck with them, but it was blowing 20, 25, well below zero with the wind chill. So it's just the November struggle here for trying to get a mule deer. So we passed him. I think he was like a small 3-point, at least the one we could see. But yeah, just giving it all we got. Like, this is part of the challenge. Like the cold takes a different kind of toughness, and you know, hunting these mule deer during the rut when they're susceptible, you have to be willing to endure. So it's not for the faint at heart, but we're gonna keep after it. We're gonna find a good buck yet, you just see. Well, some deer walking around. Seems like that wind calmed down a bit too, which is nice. Heavy and tall. Yeah, it's definitely got a good frame when he picks up his head, but I don't think he's quite there. This doesn't quite have it, you know? We're having to be mobile and really move around and find where these game populations are. Like, we've been able to cruise through some country that's just absolutely desolate, where you don't see a deer, and you don't see a deer even during prime time. And so it's all about finding these pockets, especially hunting new areas, or even if you're hunting existing areas, just to be able to look around and find these new places. And the way I do it is being mobile, cover country. I'm looking for tracks and sign. I'm looking for deer. And then once I can start to see what I'm looking for, you know, then I'll find good vantage points that show off that country, or I'll make hikes into those far off canyons and coulees that you can't see from a road. So it's so important to dial it in. And there's definitely been country where we haven't seen any deer, but this country is full of them. So, you know, make sure that you're mobile, and also being there at the right time. Like, we found this vantage point a couple days ago, and we looked off this vantage point in the middle of the day, and we didn't see a deer. And I panned it for an hour, maybe even an hour and a half, 2 hours, just panned throughout it, not a deer in country. And then all of a sudden it got into the evening, and they just started popping out from all these different hiding spots, and able to see deer, able to find multiple bucks, probably saw like over 20 deer. And it's from looking at the right spots at the right time. So this is a chess game, hunting these western areas and hunting new areas. But if you dial it in, if you find the game populations, then you can find success. All right, well, it's just getting down to last light. Spotted a pretty nice whitetail. We're gonna go get a closer look. I'm not sure if we'd shoot him or not. Our tag's good for a whitetail or a muley, so let's sneak back, see what we can do, see if we can get a closer look, show them to you guys on film. So Well, tailgate chef here. So it gets dark so early, so we'll cook up some good dinner. Yeah, we just have some fajita meat. It's mule deer that we're eating. It's always good to be eating mule deer as we're hunting mule deer. Nothing. Olive oil, totally froze. But yeah, we'll do taco here. We got tortillas, we got some guac, lettuce, salsa, cheese. So we'll throw that in a tortilla, be a meal, and catch some sleep. So we got the heater going here so I can keep my hands warm. It's about 19 degrees now, so just chilly living, truck camping.
Set this on the canvas.
We're day 2 here, so cold last night. Today we've got 25-mile-an-hour sustained winds and 45-mile-an-hour gusts. Plus the high, it's not going to get above 30 degrees, so it's going to be chilly today. So we're just trying to scout out some spots and find some good areas that then we can bomb into when we get better weather this week. So we found a good spot yesterday, saw a couple bucks in there. We're starting to find them in this foothill country. And then, so I had an idea to come check out this new spot this morning and look at this with the wind, and spotted a couple slammer bucks. So we're just here still in the vehicle. They're like a couple hundred yards from public. So we're parked down lower. We're just going to watch them. Hopefully they go down and put away into bed in that public lands, and starting to get it dialed in and figured out. And hopefully we hit this good weather window the next 3 days, can put a bunch of miles on and get a buck stuck. So see what happens. Yeah, if we could keep track of those two and get a play on those today, we'd be stoked. You know, I mean, they get bigger, but not an absolute super giant, but yeah, definitely like great shooters. And then the one's got 2 stickers out either side.
Heck yeah.
Just gonna go a little bit further and make sure the other buck isn't coming up this way.
So, oh man, no wind, perfectly calm, you know, I could sit on my pin, execute a good shot. It's just like a lot of times those are better than the close shots because these muleys will jump your string, but you can see he totally waited for the arrow. Arrow got, just nailed him, blood pumping out both sides like he's done. You know, right now, like, I bow hunt exclusively. So to bow hunt this country, it's like we've got snow and cold, they can hear you coming, like you're not gonna get a 20, 30 yard shot on a mule deer. So you gotta work on that long range game, that 60, 70, 80, you know, where you give yourself a chance at success. And that's what we got there. Like, that buck was a long range shot. They heard us coming up the draw, heard the snow crunching. We were able to make a quick move right here and then get a shot at him up the hill and just sat on my shot and executed, you know. And when I do that, they die. And all these hunts, like every successful bow hunt, comes down to making a shot. And if you're clutch in the moment, if you practice every single day, year round, if you practice at those longer distances, then when you get the chance, you can put an arrow in them. And so that's the difference for us, having a dead buck or, you know, starting over and having to try to find another one. So we're stoked, so stoked. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, he's a solid buck.
Solid buck, huh? All right, here he is. Good Badlands muley. I'm just so stoked to be able to arrow one out here. I mean, it's bitter cold. We've got snow, and we caught 2 bucks this morning. One had double stickers, but this was the heavier, older deer. He just had a horse of a body. So we were able to make plays in those coulees and in those draws and play cat and mouse with them. They didn't know we were there, and then put a good shot on them. I just couldn't be more stoked. Just a big, heavy, older mule deer. So that's what bow hunting's all about. I just absolutely love to chase these things around in any habitat, whether it's the mountains, the prairies, badlands, the breaks, you name it. If there's mule deer there, I'll go chase them. So stoked with this buck. So we're looking at 5 degrees tonight, and so basically I've got my stone glacier inside my 0 degree here. So this is how I'll sleep tonight, but I have 2 insulated pads that keep me insulated off the ground, and I'll sleep like a baby. Yeah, it's not a standard system that most guys run, but it sure works for me.